Hi, everybody. It's Kristina Dennis, the Transformational Self-Empowerment Master. And I am happy to be coming in a little later in the afternoon. I had a busy morning. I got to go on a walk in beautiful nature. I think I've shared a couple times. Let me see if I could not obsess about my hair, whatever. It's going to be the way it is. Mondays and Tuesdays are usually my catch-up day because my son goes to school for a bit of time before he comes home and we work on therapy, and I'm not doing things necessarily in a rigid manner. So I was super stoked this morning that a girlfriend called me and wanted to walk in the Back Bay this morning. And the funny thing about it is that I usually walk the Back Bay with another girlfriend on Mondays, and I had a doctor's appointment that I thought was today, and so I moved that to tomorrow. And I did my treadmill already, 3 miles, and then went to the doctor's appointment. They told me you're here a day early, but guess what? The 9 o'clock didn't come, so you can have that appointment. And then I had decided that I was going to try to walk the Back Bay tomorrow to double to get my miles in before I met my girlfriend. And then my friend called me today and said, would you like to walk the Back Bay? So that's a very confusing story, I imagine, but whatever, it's how my brain works. The point is that staying open and free and less rigid on these days is so good for my soul. And I'm really working on practicing what I preach. I get a certain high off of getting stuff done. And if you are like me, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, where feels good to know this is what I'm going to work on today. This is how I'm going to get things done. I'm going to Marie Kondo or whatever her name is. I'm going to have joy in getting rid of stuff. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do my morning papers. I'm going to meditate and, I'm going to work with this person and I'm going to finish that blog and, start the meetup group that I have posted. And, I don't think that anything's going to work like that. It's certainly counterintuitive to what I talk about in regards to being available and doing what is your highest truth. And my highest truth is to move away from a life and a belief system that felt that I was only valuable if I got so much done that it blew your mind. There was an ego involved in the fact that I could do 3 times what most people get done. And I can't even say that now without a little pride or a little I want to stay there. I want to stay in that amount of busyness, or I want to stay comfortable with that. And I'm wanting to try to embrace something different, a little more peace and a little more alignment with my belief systems and what is abundance and what is available to us. That I don't think I necessarily, I don't believe that the truth that I felt for so long, which is you're never going to get anything unless you work incredibly hard, and the work that you do is painful, is true anymore. And I want to show that by the way I treat myself on the days that I am able to take a little bit of a break, which is kind of today. I talked about courage, I think, the last time I came in here, and I was listening, as I usually do, to other people. And I love the discussions and the conversations about what people find to be true, or new truths. So as we're transforming and growing, I love to bring in all the things that are going on out there. I think that, I've said this before, I think that we're in a very lucky time in regards to having access to all of this information. And for me, this is just the best time in my life to be able to really step back and start looking at some of these truths. And when I was talking about being courageous, and I also talked about the fact that I wanted to do this work 20 years ago, 25 years ago, but I let the ism come and get me. I let the opinions of others determine what I was going to go after. Jobs seemed to be more secure. And the funny part is I have never been happy in a job. I've either felt like I wasn't doing my purpose, or we didn't have the same belief systems. I was always a rebel and always a bit of an entrepreneur. I definitely acted self-employed, which doesn't make corporations very happy sometimes. They don't necessarily like it when you behave as if you're self-employed at a job. But because I had that other part of me that worked 3 times faster, I kind of was able to do it in short spurts with some success, 4 or 5 years at a time. And then I would end up needing to do something else, always pushing to do something else, which is probably why I've been hanging around in these environments for over 20 years and working with people as a service, as my way of being a servant and servicing the greater cause of transformation and showing people who they really are and breaking the incorrect belief systems that we sometimes inherit has been something that I can't not talk about. And I was listening to an interview for an author, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F. I try not to swear on my YouTube videos, but he had a very interesting point of view, and I loved a lot of what he was saying. And the whole idea of not giving a F about something isn't this indifference or this attitude or kind of that ugly personality. And I loved his description of the dude at the funeral with sunglasses on drinking a beer, like, I don't give a F about what you think. It was being okay with being different. That's what it means. Being comfortable with the fact that I stood for something that's different. And I could completely identify with that, because a lot of people have enjoyed making fun of me, or haters gonna hate, but coming up with things they need to say, want to say. And it's been challenging sometimes. And so something else that I thought was really cool that came out of the discussion, I want to share this with you. You can't be an important and life-changing presence for some people without also being a joke and an embarrassment to others. Wow. I wish I had read that and heard of that and had the fortitude and presence to take that in, because it makes sense to me today. And I'm guessing that's probably why it wouldn't have made sense to me in my 30s. But I started to kind of go there, where I started realizing, hey, what other people think isn't necessarily the truth, and they don't have it all figured out. And, the people that wanted to keep me in a box and keep me small. And I remember friends of mine going, shh, shh, if I was being loud or boisterous, and feeling shamed and not liking it, and wanting to, somehow be different. But the core of me wasn't going to be different. I was always going to be somebody who spoke up, and I'm always going to be somebody who speaks up. And, I can look at history and say, oh, there was a lot of times that I spoke up and maybe I was wrong, or maybe I was one-sided. I, had never considered that somebody else's opinion could be right. And with maturity, there comes that, perspective where you can look and say, okay, somebody else has an idea, and it's just as valid as my idea. So I wanted to talk a little more about, being an embarrassment to somebody else if you're going to be a hero to someone. And I love that. I want us to teach that to our children. I want us to teach the idea of committing ourselves to our beliefs. And that's why I talk about core values and transformational self-empowerment, because we wouldn't want to admit it, but the truth of the matter is, most of us have a core value of wanting to be liked, and wanting to be liked by everyone. And that comes with security, that comes with safety. Sometimes that comes from our parents who say, you've got to fit in, you've got to, succeed, you've got to figure this out. Oh, she beats to her own drum, There are all kinds of ways that we shame people that have different interests than us, or are doing things very differently. And the idea that it's going to happen anyway, if you're always in the background, if you're always a chameleon, no one will ever know who you are anyway. And you're going to live kind of an unfulfilled life if you're always fitting in and you're not picking the things that you want to stand up for. And we all heard it. If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything. But it's so true. It is so true. And I love the idea of taking on who I am and my personality. I'm bossy sometimes. I'm loud sometimes. I get upset about injustices and I want to talk about it. I'll jump into a fight or run toward a burning building to help. I don't want to change those parts of me. Yes, I appreciate discernment, and I've appreciated the discernment that I've gotten as I have gotten older and have had more experiences to reference. But, truthfully, if I had known 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that my job was not to fit in, even though it makes other people comfortable, my job is not to fit in. My job is to, take care of me and become me and give that gift, be that servant, be the person who shows up for people in that way. Learn, ask the questions I ask, be the, catalyst sometimes in change. I might have been a little easier on myself. So that's why I want to share that thought process today, which is, we've got to change what we're going for. We've got to change. And boy, is it hard. We've got every reason not to change, negative bias, getting in your teenage years, trying to conform, trying to figure out who's winning and what obstacle have we gotten to, and what success or challenge have we met and how far are we in this game. I've got a lot of friends in their early 30s that feel like they're behind because they haven't gotten married or had children, and they're concerned that they never will. And I just want to shake them, but you can't, because I get it. I get how scary it is to feel like you're behind in life. So I want to keep having conversations about transforming what we believe success is and transforming ourselves in order to live the life that we want to live, that burning desire inside of us. For me, it's always been sticking up for the little guy, standing up against injustice, demanding, truth, all the things that I've rallied against in my lifetime. They're always going to be there. And now I am able to apply them in a way that is of service to others versus just inviting more trauma to me or, drama. So that's all I got to say today. Happy Monday to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really enjoyed all the comments that I get offline. And once again, if you want to start participating, you can private message me. I'm happy to talk about some different topics than the ones that I just come up with. Or if you want to learn a little more about transformational self-empowerment, there's a free ebook that talks a lot about these activity steps on the website. So God bless you all. Talk to you soon.